Hi everyone, this is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome, true readers, to my review of Batman Beyond Rebirth #1. This came out in 2016. The cover's pretty good, and, it has one slight drawback. You've got Terry McGinnis, because he's the new Batman. This is, by the time Bruce Wayne is 80 years old. And so, he looks kind of mean right here. Is right up in your face. Similar to the Batman Rebirth issue that came out in the same year. But then you have all the red in the background, and there's nothing there, just red. So in that respect, the issue is kind of, so-so. But at the same time, it's black on red, and that's always a good combination. So, it works out. Now, let's get into the story. Now, Terry McGinnis, he is Batman of this time. I don't exactly know what year it is, but it says up here, several decades from now. And this is Terry McGinnis narrating. Now he's talking about, how everything started, and that this is Neo Gotham, and that some people still like to call it Gotham City, because they don't want to refer to the Neo part of it, because Neo means new, and sometimes new isn't good. That's just fact of life. And he's talking about, these jokers, and that's Jokerz, a jokers gang during his time that he's, fighting because they're holding up a school bus. And he basically says, that's a new low even for them. And this is titled Escaping the Grave, Part 1, written by Dan Jurgens, who also writes Action Comics. So he's a great writer. And so he deals with them really fast. And they're even, more unpredictable than they usually were. And I like the artwork, because it's kind of rough, but at the same time, it's not so rough that it's, so dark and grim. And the action, there's action right off the bat. Batman's kicking ass, and at the same time, people are trying to kick his ass. And he reminisces about the past, of how he became associated with Bruce Wayne, because he and his girlfriend, Dana Tan, were out one night and they got cornered by the Joker's gang. Well then, who steps in? But this old man, who happens to be Bruce Wayne. And he handles these punks in just moments. But he's out of breath. So Terry helps him back to his mansion, and of course, Bruce won't allow him to call an ambulance, because that's how Bruce is. And he reminisces about when he saw the clock. He says that I was heading for the door when fate intervened again, because he already mentioned that previously. I just don't want to go through all the dialogue, because it's not really that necessary. He says, a bat trapped in the clock tried to free it, and found what the clock was really hiding, a stairway to the most wondrous cave in the world, and conclusive proof that the old man sleeping upstairs wasn't just anyone. Bruce Wayne was Batman. Da-da-da-da! Because he sees the tubes with all the old uniforms. But a very sway discovery until Wayne showed up threw me out. Yeah, Bruce Wayne was not too happy about him finding that stuff because, it's his property, and he goes roaming around while Bruce Wayne is, out like a light, and he's not the same man he used to be. That's where the story should have ended, but it didn't, he says. And then, I can't remember exactly how, but he winds up getting the Batman costume, this one right here. He thinks he can beat us. Stay down. You think the metal will stop their blasters? And that's his, I can't remember who that is. No, just need a clear shot. That night, by the time I got home from Wayne's, I found our place ransacked. Oh yes, his father had been killed. And so he basically goes back to Wayne Manor because his father worked for a subsidiary, I think it was, of Wayne Enterprises. He found out that his father had been murdered, and evidence was pointing to the Joker's, but he wanted, the real dude who got him. He begged Bruce Wayne to let him put on the suit and find the culprit, but he said no. And he said he was done being Batman. And because he was, old at that time. He's still old. He says, but Batman flew anyway. I swiped the suit and went after the killers, which was a bold move on his part. And what he doesn't tell you is that Bruce Wayne still didn't approve and shut the suit down. That, of course, that was in the very first episode of Batman Beyond. But Bruce did coach him from the sidelines, as he says, eventually. And so they began to work together. And I think this is now present day. You haven't missed a beat. Thanks, Commissioner. Weird not having Bruce in my ear, though. Drove me nuts, but I still miss him. Yeah, see, by this time, they believe Bruce Wayne to be dead. Seems like the Jokers have gotten more dangerous. We're working to get a handle on that, and call me Barbara. Yes, that's Barbara Gordon, formerly known as Batgirl. And she says, we've heard whispers of a place called Jokertown, southwest section of the city, but whenever we move in, the Jokers lose the makeup and blend in. How's life outside the suit? Getting everything back together? And that's what Barbara Gordon wants for him, is a normal life. He says with Matt and Max, that his life is, fairly normal. But he hasn't gotten in contact with his girlfriend. And it's really difficult to, when he has this responsibility as Batman of the future. And, of course, there was a whole time during the New 52, which I did not read about, that Terry McGinnis was believed to be dead, and the New 52 was DC Comics publishing from 2011 to 2015, and I didn't read DC Comics then, so I'm out of the loop on how he was believed to be dead. She says, "Terry, you can't. That laugh." And it's a crazy laugh. I mean, this just goes on and on. "I've seen this. Call the medics," she says. "The Joker's liked to make sure his men wouldn't talk if they were arrested." Oh, yeah. No, that's the original Joker. "These men will die unless..." It's hysteric. It's hysterics. They laugh so long and so hard that eventually it'll kill them. Too late, he says. Joker Venom. It is possible. Is it possible if he's still alive? He's referring to the Joker. And Barbara's like saying, "Alive? No. The Joker's been dead for years." And Terry said, "Oh, that's what everyone thought about me. What if..." "Careful, you'll become obsessed like Bruce." "Whatever you do, Terry, don't get lost." And she means don't get lost in the obsession, in being Batman. And I believe that's his girlfriend, Dana Tam. "I don't need an escort." "You do in Gotham, Miss Tan. You social workers might think these animals are salvageable, but they aren't. Take away hope and anyone can fall into a pit, officer. It's my job to help get them out of the pit." "Miss Ortiz?" "I'm Dana Tan, Gotham Services for All. I'm here to..." "You shouldn't have come. It isn't safe." And then we see a big punch, what looks like a glove that knocks out the officer. And there's a girl Joker says, "You don't belong here, dearie." What dear old Juanita was going to say is that this is Joker's town. And so Dana Tan, his girlfriend, is now being confronted by some idiots who like to dress up in the image of the original Joker. Come around telling folks you can help, and those people might turn away from the boss, which the boss won't tolerate. "So you're coming with us?" "No." "Yes, because you gotta answer to the man. And because you were smart enough to tell us she was coming." The old lady, I guess. Payday. And that's, I believe, Mac, Terry's brother, Max, who's a little bit older than he was in 1999. Probably by a couple years. Maybe around 12 years of age there. "You saved a school bus full of kids. Ultimate shway." And that word shway is something like that means like cool, man, awesome, but it's a different word. What shway is that the kids are safe, Matt. That's always my priority. You aced it, Terry. That's what really kicks. And so, I guess I think they've moved into, a little apartment so that, they can get their lives back on track. He says, what kicks is being back. Nice having a kid brother to hang with again. He says, especially since it's just us now. We lost Dad years ago, and Mom died in the war, which I have no idea what that's about. And of course, there's no reference in here at the bottom. If not for Max Gibson taking you in while I was gone, you woulda, if not for Spellbinder locking you down. You're here now, and that's what counts, he says. So, that's information I don't know about. And here's Max. The girl in the purple hair, or pink hair. Terry, I can't believe you're here. Something wrong, Max? It's Dana. The Jokers have her. And she only looks about 2 years older, or maybe 1 year older than she did in the cartoon in 1989. Which is, flabbergasting. What do the Jokers want with Dana? Net chatter is all about them wanting to ruin Gotham, or as they call it, I've heard, Joker's Town. Da-da-da-da. Batman's uniform. And over here it says, that name dies today. And he's thinking to himself, back in high school, Dana and I were close. That's his girlfriend that got kidnapped. But as Batman became a bigger part of my life, Dana became less important. Ooh. When Spellbinder, that's one of his villains, or one of his rogues, took me off the board, leaving everyone to believe I was dead, she moved on, which is understandable. By the time I came back, I didn't know what to say to her. What to do? What do I do? Walk up to her and say, hey, I'm back from the grave. Oh, and by the way, I'm Batman. That would be kind of difficult. Now she's down here, working in the old part of town. And so, as Batman, he goes down there to the old part of town to search for information on the Joker's gang. And he says, you don't have to fear me. And these people are scared, 7 ways from Sunday. He says, I ain't afraid of you, afraid of him. And then we see, wham! Right up the side of his head. And it's one of them Jokers. Attacked him. And it looks like Bane. Bane's another one of Bruce Wayne's enemies. And Bane got so big and muscular by using this chemical. So it looks like this dude's using that while being a Joker. And he's just going crazy laughing. And this is Dana. I'm saying, your identity isn't a secret to me. I know who you really are, Carter. And I remember him from the show. Carter Wilson was my name as a child, Dana. I go by Terminal now, as he did then. Why did you have to... Why did you have your goons bring me here? I didn't. Someone else gave the order. him, the real man in charge. My God, is that the man I'm raising from the dead, the Joker? Dun-dun-dun-dun. Definitely to be continued. So that was my brief review of Batman Beyond Rebirth #1. It was a little slow in places, but that was only to set the tone for the stories that are to follow. So, if you can still find this issue that started all this off in 2016, relaunching Batman Beyond, I do recommend that you get it. I'm Michael for Spirit Comics. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so already, and smash that bell like She-Hulk so you will get all the notifications when videos are uploaded to my channel. And trust me, lots of videos are being uploaded right now, and I'm not this very moment, but there's a lot being uploaded. So you have to go to my YouTube channel, Spirit Comics, to check them out. And also, if you enjoyed this review, like it and share it with others, because that will help out my channel, and I'm just a small YouTuber sharing my love of comic books with you guys. So, till next time, true readers.